Welcome to sewing class. I'm Annette Julie, and I'm going to show you today how to thread a sewing machine. With the sewing machine that you have at home, there's quite often a guide that goes with it for threading, and many sewing machines are very similar as far as how they all get threaded. First off, the sewing machine is not even turned on yet, and the pedal isn't plugged in or put into the wall. So we're going to unwind the cord without dangling the pedal by the cord, because that breaks it. And then you're going to find the plug end that inserts into the machine. Go ahead and insert that on the side of the machine. Then we're going to go ahead and take the end. We've got the plug, and we're going to insert this into a power strip. The machine is on, but I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. I don't need to have it on right now. And I'm going to take the pedal, and I'm going to place it onto the floor. I have a spool of thread, brand new. I'm going to go ahead and get the end of the thread leg, and I'm going to come to my machine. I'm going to pull up the spindle, and I'm going to insert the thread onto the spindle. I'm going to take this disc and put it right back on to hold it in place. Then I can take the thread leg, and I'm going to go ahead and set this up for threading our bobbin. So I'm going to go ahead and take my bobbin, and I'm going to place it on the bobbin winder. And there's two sets of instructions with my sewing machine. One is a solid thread that goes down, back up into the thread pickup lever, back up into these rings, and then I thread from front to back. And then the dotted line is for threading the bobbin on the bobbin winder. So we're going to need some thread on the bobbin to put down in the bobbin housing area to be able to sew. So let's go ahead and wind some thread on here. We're going to go around. And then we're going to come over to the bobbin. And when you take a look at the bobbin, usually all bobbins have a couple little holes in them. And that is to actually insert the thread through the hole for winding. So if you find that to be a bit of a tedious activity, you can skip that step and I'll show you how. Look, I find that a little bit tedious. Let's try the other hole. Nope, just as tedious. So what I like to do is I like to put this on, and instead of getting it through the hole, I just wind that around about 5 or 6 times. Then I'm going to push it over to the side, and you hear that click, and it's clicked into place to go ahead and wind the bobbin. So you can skip that step if you don't like putting that thread through the hole. We're now going to turn on the sewing machine. As my switch is over to the right, and we have our pedal on the floor. And just to make sure that this is threading correctly right now, if you need to, you can hold on to the end of that thread until it starts winding. And now we're winding our bobbin. And you can see the thread's going to go up and down, and you're going to put on as much thread as you want for your project. So if you're sewing a whole bunch of sewing notebooks, and we're doing them in black thread, you can go ahead and wind the whole bobbin. stop winding, look, it won't wind anymore when it's full. We're going to click that off, pull the bobbin off, trim the thread. Now we have our bobbin completely wound. It's ready for a lot of sewing projects. And my machine does not have a bobbin case. We just have a little window to go ahead and drop the bobbin in. We're going to drop this in with the thread going counterclockwise, and then we're going to take the thread right into its little point of tension, right into the tension plates. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the little door, put that door back on, click that in place. That looks good. Now we're going to continue to wind the top section of our sewing machine. So I'm going to pull the thread out of the bobbin winding position, which on my machine was a dotted line. Now I'm going to go ahead and follow the solid line, which is going here and then down. This is step number 1, which was around, and down, which is step number 2. Step number 3, we're coming back up. And then we're going to catch our thread in our thread take-up lever, step number 4. But if the thread take-up lever is hiding, you can take the wheel, go forward, and catch it, and pull that down. Now we're going to go ahead and thread the needle from front to back. I'm going to pull the machine a little bit closer. There we go. And I'm going to take my thread snippers and I'm going to snip the end of the thread. I'm going to take that end of the thread. I'm going to drop the presser foot down. And I always like to slip a white piece of paper behind the needle to go ahead and thread it. And then I can see the eye of the needle very clearly and thread one time. So you can see that we have the needle threaded front to back. I'm going to pull it through the presser foot, and the presser foot is up. Here it's down, up, or lifting the presser foot lever. And now we're going to hold our thread leg. We're going to take our wheel and we're going to go fishing down into the bobbin housing area and pull up the thread from the bobbin housing area. Here you see a loop. I'm going to pull that out and put both threads through. Great. My machine is set at 4 and it's 0 because we're not making a zigzag, we're making a straight stitch. And I have this set at 2.5 for the stitch length. And we're going to go ahead and check this out. I have a swatch. We'll drop the presser foot down, hold your thread legs, and take your needle right down into the muslin. Let's make sure we've got it in this little loop here. Right in that loop. I'm going to bring the thread right down into the muslin. And this is my extra swatch. I didn't need this for my other swatches that I was preparing for the project. This is just an extra one. So it looks like I'm ready to sew and I have all my settings correct. I'm going to go ahead and go forward. going to check out the stitch on both sides. This looks really nice. That's 2.5 on your dial. And here is my reverse button. So I'm going to check out the reverse. Go forward again. Let's go to the edge. Do little backwards, known as a back stitch. And then look, it ends with the needle up. We're going to put the presser foot up, hold our swatch, take our wheel, and go back and forth a little bit and pull our swatch out, trimming our threads. We've just checked out our machine to make sure that it's sewing properly, and we threaded it and it looks good to go. That is the end of our threading machine with a drop-in bobbin. Thanks so much. Look forward to seeing you on the next video.